The following clip is presented to you by The Extreme Life of Matt Hardy, available every Friday wherever you get your podcasts and at extremehardy.com. Orange Cassidy getting the big battle royal win. A lot of fun there. I thought that was exceptional. Orange Cassidy. You know, I'm going to put you on the record on this. We talked a little bit about Orange Cassidy last week, and I said how highly I think of him, and you agreed that you think of him highly. He was asked in the press conference afterwards, do you feel that you are one of the best wrestlers in the world? And he downplayed himself. No way. There's no way that I am, blah, blah, blah. But I thought watching him in that battle royal and watching what he does every single week on AEW Dynamite and Rampage, whatever show he's on, that there are few people with the versatility and the ability to build anticipation to their comebacks and eventual false finishes like Orange Cassidy can. I'd like to put you on the record here. Where do you think Orange Cassidy sits in the grand scheme of things as far as professional wrestlers and entertainers out there in the industry this year?
I mean, I think Orange Cassidy is tremendous. I think he's at the top of that list when it comes to performers in AEW because he's out there and he's playing a character that is not easy to do, but he's very committed to the bit. He's committed to the gig. Once again, I can tell you how much I respect someone who does that because I did that as Broken Matt Hardy. But if he was just to go out and just be a normal, typical, regular wrestler, I mean, he'd be having amazing wrestling matches. He could go out there night in and night out and have like this incredible wrestling match. But I feel like the thing that attracts him to so many fans is the persona, is the whole Orange Cassidy shtick. You know, so I greatly applaud him for doing that. I think he is one of the best wrestlers in AEW. I think he's one of the best wrestlers in the industry right now. I think he has a really, really great confidence in knowing what he needs to do to make the character excel and continue to grow and like connect with people. And on top of that, man, I'm gonna make a very strange connection, but I do think there's some truth to this. In some ways, right now, if you notice this, Orange Cassidy opens up Dynamite all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Orange Cassidy to Tony at this stage right now, what they're currently at these last few months, in some ways reminds me of the relationship between Vince McMahon and The Undertaker. He was like his go-to guy, a guy that he knew could go out and get the job he wanted done. And on top of that, those guys were both really good wrestlers, but they played these outlandish and outrageous over-the-top gimmicks. So there's a crazy similarity there. Imagine that, hearing Orange Cassidy compared to The Undertaker at any point in your podcasting career, John.
I can't wait for the headlines. Matt Hardy compares Orange Cassidy to The Undertaker, but I think everything you're saying has merit to it for sure. He is probably the most dependable person that Tony Khan has on the roster.
Just think about this. Tony put him in that battle royal where he was going to go in as the champion and retain the title. I mean, that speaks volumes right there. And then how many times on Dynamite do you see him kick off the show?
Yeah.
To have a great wrestling match as Orange Cassidy. I mean, that shows Tony has great faith in him. You know, not only does he enjoy and like him as a person, but he's a big fan of his wrestling style. And he also feels like he does numbers. He feels like he retains an audience. So he's a young guy that it's his first time ever being a national global star, you know, and Tony's running with him. And I respect him for that.